here, but first let's recap the NCAA Regional Tournament, the Midwest Regional Tournament in Cincinnati, where North Dakota defeated top seed Wisconsin in the opening game 5-2, closer than that. And then the double overtime win over Ferris State. And Brad, I think it was just emblematic of this team that Steph Patton and Connor Gorder scored the only goals of the win over Ferris State. Let's go with the Wisconsin game, though. Yeah. First of all, one of North Dakota's better efforts of the year, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. And that's a Wisconsin team that I think their fans have been pointing to for about 3 years out, saying this is our year. And they were a really veteran team. They had 9 seniors. 2 of those guys have already turned pro. 2 of the non-seniors and signed. So that was a stacked Wisconsin team that they beat. And really, the second half of the game, they kind of took over, UND did, and had the majority of the chances. And I guess when you have the puck in the offensive zone as much as UND did, sometimes a thing like a shot goes off a guy's rib cage and in the net, and that's what happened for the game winner.
Not easy to hit Mark McMillan's rib cage either.
No.
As skinny as he is.
No. Right place at the right time, though, for him. He was going to the net and creating traffic, and that's what happens.
Then he played a Ferris State team that won the WCHA this year. They came in as the number 2 seed, I think only because they lost to Minnesota State Mankato in their playoffs. But then you're going against another Hobey Baker finalist goaltender and CJ Mott, as you'd already beaten Joel Rumpel the night before. And Ferris State was a good hockey team.
Yeah.
In fact, you may even say North Dakota fortunate to come away with a victory in that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that later on, that might have been one of the best teams we've seen all year, UND play. They were just solid all around. They blocked a ton of shots. They didn't make anything easy. But, UND did their best to keep the shots from the outside. Zane Goffberg was terrific, and in the end, like you said, Steph Patton and Connor Gorder are the guys that send UND to the Frozen Four, just as the coaching staff planned when they committed those guys 3 years ago, I'm sure.
North Dakota deserved to get a win like that, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
Had a turnaround on them the other way a lot of times, that's for sure.
They've had a lot of things go, a lot of breaks go against them in the NCAA tournament in the last 8 or 9 years. And in 10 years, go back to the Parisi team against Denver. They've had a lot of breaks go against them, so maybe for once they're coming back their way.
So a Midwest Regional Championship for UND, and on to the Frozen Four against Minnesota in the opening or the second semifinal game after Union and BC square off in Philadelphia. Give me some thoughts on that one, you guys, on North Dakota and Minnesota renewing their old rivalry, and been a lot of talk about that. Let's talk about the teams themselves.
Well, just touching on, I'll respectfully disagree with head coach John Lucier. He's an excellent coach of that program, but for saying that the rivalry ever needed any time to cool down, that was the most illogical statement I've ever possibly heard. And again, I'll respectfully disagree, but it's great to see those two teams matching up at some point of the season. It seems like it would have been wrong not to, and it works out this way, and I'm just excited as a general fan to observe. You can talk about the matchups, but from what I hear, this is kind of a Minnesota team that they've been looking at as having a lot of talent coming in, and it seems to have all come together for them. Am I right in hearing that, correct, Brad?
Lots of young players on their team, but I know this is a recruiting class that probably 2 years ago they were saying, wait till we get these guys on campus, and they've been very good for them. They do have Will Cox in goal, who's another Hobey Baker finalist. That's 3 in 3 games for UND, and a very skilled team.
To me, the scary thing a little bit about Minnesota is a lot of times they've had these young teams like this that are very skilled and very good, and they'll get off to a lightning start. They go 10-0 in their first 10 games, and around January, early February, they start to sag just a little. This team never sagged. No,
they didn't. That's been the impressive part. They ended up winning their conference regular season title. They did lose in the tournament, but it sure seems that they bounced back, because we saw St. Cloud a few times, and that's a pretty good team. And Minnesota took it to them in the regional final.
Give us your key, Tom, to North Dakota winning the game.
I think they're just going to have to get secondary scoring from guys like they did against Ferris. Guys like Connor Gorder and Steph Patton need to be cruising a few points here and there, and they get some contributions from those third, fourth liners. It's going to be big.
Thursday night in Philadelphia.